Hello, welcome to the Retired Farm Boy channel. My name is Jeff. For those that are new to the channel, I definitely welcome you in. Hopefully some of this Christmas tree back here will inspire you to come back. For those that are returning, I'm hoping you're returning because you've gotten something out of my content, and I hope that you will today. My Christmas pitch, I want to give you a little bit of that. My wife, really gets into Christmas. For those of you who watch my videos know that. She put up this tree along with many others in our house way before Thanksgiving. And we had a wonderful time at Thanksgiving with family and family visiting, and got to show those off, and she was so proud of that. Hard for me to get too excited about the next holiday until we get past the other one. So now it's officially December 4th. I'm past Thanksgiving. I'm on to Christmas. I'm so excited about it. In fact, you can see that I've got the tree rotating back here behind me as we do this video. So hopefully you'll enjoy that as we go forward and see the tree rotating. This is our Santa tree. The theme of this is the Santa tree. So it's got a bunch of Santa stuff on it. That my wife decorated very well. This is where we also plan to do our Christmas with our kids and grandkids. So we're looking very forward to Christmas. I'm sitting here beside me. They're not in view, but I'm sitting here beside me of all the Christmas presents that my wife has already wrapped. I'm not a wrapper. She wraps them all in the same color paper every year. So she's got a bunch of them already wrapped. So let's get into today's video, passing on the savings habit. Now, I want to start off and back up here a little bit and talk about my childhood and what I learned as a savings habit. Now, my parents came from very poor families. They were blue-collar workers. They never had a real highfalutin title to their job or made a ton of money, honestly. But I don't want to say that I've come from the poorest of the poor, because I never remember not having food on the table. I never remember my parents not being able to pay bills or anything like that. But they were very conscientious, hard workers. And, I don't remember them, though, really talking to me much about savings. Now, they were able to pay all their bills on time. I don't remember them getting behind. Maybe they did. But they were able to come through, and they were able to purchase vehicles. Good example is when we lived in Indiana, they bought a brand new home. This is something that was, a big deal for us, is to move into a brand new home. So my parents, were frugal, had to be, and they came from low income type families. But they passed forward to me, a little bit better living, I guess you'd say, than what they probably had in their youth. And that's what I want the intent of this video today to be. Now, at that same time, as I mentioned that, they didn't pass on a lot of financial knowledge to me. Probably because they didn't have a lot of financial knowledge. They were just trying to get by and provide for their family, which they did. As many of you know, I've talked about this in another video. When I went to college, my first few classes, one of them was a personal finance class. That to me is what opened my eyes to personal finance and how to save and how to take things forward and learn how to take things into the next generation. So that was one of the probably the best class I had, beside the ones that actually got me into my career of information technology, computer science. That was probably the best class I had, and maybe that was even more important than those classes were, quite honestly, in the long run. So one of the things I did as far as passing things forward to my kids is I had a class with them that I'd put together, a PowerPoint presentation, some videos, also some Excel spreadsheets with them when they were in their 20s. This was before they were married. just before they were both married. So they didn't even have spouses this time. I included some other family members into this class as well. And I try to teach what I had learned from my experiences of growing up and getting into adulthood. And for me, that would have put me in my 40s at that time, maybe even closer to 50. And what I had learned, and I tried to instill in them these things that would help them go forward and learn from the things that I didn't have. So some of the things I went over was Dave Ramsey's baby steps. Now, a great video that you can find out there on the Dave Ramsey. I followed Dave Ramsey religiously there for a while, and one of the baby steps things was a eye-opener for me. I challenged them to start saving 10% of what they were making. Understanding your spend. Make sure you understand what you're spending so that you can know what you need to have left should be what you're saving. Compound interest, that was something that was an eye-opener for me in this personal finance class. I wanted to make sure they understood that. And getting into 401ks and how important it was to take advantage of that company match. I wanted to make sure they understood those simple, basic things that will help them later on in life. Home buying, how that was such a good investment. Neither one had owned homes at that time. Now, I use my mom and dad as an example in that. My mom and dad bought a brand new house, the only new house that I can think of that they had. I know it was the only house they owned where it was brand new at the time. They bought it when we moved to Indiana for a while. When we first moved to Indiana, we were renting. We actually, my mom and dad bought a brand new home, which was unbelievable thing, for my family to buy a brand new home and move into it. I think they give like $17,500. And as fate would have it, the house next door to that was available for sale at the time I was doing this class. So I was able to, tell my kids how much that home had appraised for and was trying to be sold for, which is, I think, around $150,000, which was, tremendously above what that house originally sold for. Trying to become something that would make them understand how important it is to invest wisely up front. Now, my kids are torn up again. They laughed at me for wanting to do that first class. They've now been married. They now have had all the kids they plan on having. They both have 2 apiece. My spouses and my in-laws, my son-in-law and my daughter-in-law are very successful people. They're a lot farther along than I was when I was their age. I'm very proud of my son and daughter, but I want to have another class. Now that they're in their 30s, my daughter is 36, and my son is 40. So I want to make sure that they understand, start getting ready for retirement, because it's a wonderful thing. And I want to make sure they understand that. So I want to talk about, how I intended on retiring at 55, and I ended up working till 62. That was because of a lot of factors, but it was because I wasn't diligent enough to get to the point of being able to do it. Now, I look back on that now, perhaps I could have retired at 55, but, I didn't feel comfortable enough to do that. So I'm glad I didn't, but at the same time, they should be planning for that, and they should hit those marks, because I want to make sure they understand how wonderful and how great retirement is and how much time you get back. Get away from that stress. I'm not saying you don't want to work, but do things that you want to be doing. My son and my son-in-law both love to farm on the side. Maybe that's what they want to do when they retire. They're still working, but they're doing something for themselves. I want to instill in them that opportunity that is out there for them to plan now, and how that will help them go forward and do the things that they want to do. So I hope that we all want that as parents. to want to take it forward, and we want the next generation to have more than we had, right? Chances are your parents were like my parents. They didn't come from a whole lot, and they didn't have a whole lot, and they worked hard, and they instilled that hard-working method onto us, and that's what we did. But we were a little smarter because we had more things available to us to understand how to be smarter and how to do better. And hopefully that's the message you get out of this video. Again, I appreciate you guys watching my video. I hope you like it. And until next time, I say in most of my videos, retirement is simply great. Thank you.